Alright guys, here we go. After I almost died, after doing 2 previous reviews, I decided to do something a little bit more simplistic. Today we're gonna talk about 10 things Korg Electribe got wrong. And don't get me wrong, because I'm planning on making a second video after that, explaining why there's a lot of things that Korg Electribe 2S, Salami Electribe got very right, and some of the features will be very unique and undocumented. But now to the hatred. Endless problems with USB connection. First off, this thing was out in 2015, right at the time of Windows 10 release, and still requires proprietary Korg drivers that actually do not work. I tried everything. Nope. But you do need it anyway, because there's no way to transfer samples or record a track to PC via USB anyway. All you have is a memory card. So please think about getting a card reader. You will need it. The batteries. This hungry monster eats batteries for breakfast. 3 hours was the most I ever squeezed out of Electribe. Damn it, my Volca FM and keys worked for about 10 hours easy. So if you think about using it on the go, please note that you have to carry a bag full of batteries with you. Also, no USB power, so no power bank option. No instrument selection buttons or categories. If you want to assign a kick or VA synth, it's just a 5-10 rotation of the knob. But toms, dear God, it's about a 50 rotation, and there's no way around it unless you hold shift button to make it faster. But holding shift while menu diving with one knob is not a pleasant experience. And when it comes to sound by the numbers of 300s, it's a pain. Almost no pad sounds and arpeggios. Yup, if you thought about doing 5-hour drones on here, you are out of luck. Yes, you can use VA sound with effects, etc., but PCM sounds are your regular pianos, brass and orchestral instruments. No shimmer or pads for you. Hell, instrument doesn't even have dedicated pad category. How the hell do I pronounce this word? Oh, arpeggiator. Don't even think about it. Play it live, haha, or enter or edit everything by hand. Imagine that. Device for making groovy electronic music that doesn't have 2 most important things for making it. Psh, there's no TR rec stuff. You cannot enter a note and simply rotate the knob to record the next one. We're not even gonna mention perfect Donner B1 sequencer that is second to none. You enter a notes in live mode or dive deep, really deep, into the menus and use one single encoder to rule them all. You actually need to flip through 5 screens to change one note. And there can be up to 64, mind you. This one is a major pain. Overall, flawed logic. There's a big problems with moving the parts you've recorded on a pad. After you're done, there's no way to simply move recorded parts freely. There's only copy function. It's all fun and games when you have 1 to 4 parts, but when all the pads are used already, there's a cluster situation with no hopes of getting out of. Also, since trigger button not actually triggers anything and serves just as a preview, you can't even switch instruments on or off properly. You have to use mute, unmute instead. When we press unmute, which is actually on-off, in our minds we think, seeing that pad is lit red now, that we now can use the knob or knobs to change the sound, but we actually on the pad that was chosen by trigger option before that. In so many cases I found myself turning the knobs, not hearing anything, just because the purple light was on a different pad. At the same time you ruin the other sound, in famous voice stealing. Alright, let's get to the math. The polyphony count is 24. It means how many sounds of all instruments can be played simultaneously. God damn it. Regular polyphony that you think about here is your typical 4 voices like on microkorg, right? Or microkorg. So it means if you have kick, hat, sub bass, snare, then it's already 4 taken. Add chord or pad to it, but cause chords are by nature polyphonic, count it as at least 3 more voice taken. It's 7 already, but if you want to have chords and pad, add at least 3 more. 10. Then regular bass line, which is mono, going to add 1 to the count. Then lead part, which is usually mono, also will add another one, about 12 or something, and it should work fine, but on paper only. To my estimation, everything more than 10 can cause problems, i.e. voice stealing. Usually it depends on the speed of the lead part. I mean, if you play 16th notes inside one loop of pad sound, it all counts and sums and raise the voices count to more than 24 really fast. I recommend to use first 8 pads and leave others to some additional stuff. Especially if you load your own samples. For whatever reason, Electribe have hard time digesting them. No information on a screen. When you perform at home or play live and you have a lot of songs to remember, you want to know what instrument is that exact pad. And what's more important, you want to give your own names to it, like pad A, drone B, arp G minor, or drum fill, etc., etc. Nope, not today. So you are left all alone like a deer in a headlight, racking your brain trying to remember what's this OSC, AST, one so is exactly. Is this a bass synth? Is this ARP sequence? Is this solo lead? There's some dedicated arrows to scroll through the project settings, but there's a catch. To see what, let's say, instrument effects you have, you gotta scroll about 20 tiny lines at the bottom of the screen. During a live gig, yeah, right. And then scroll back. Horrible experience. Quantization is always on, which is a shame. You can see it as a minor problem, but hear me out. Quantization usually helps a lot when you record out of rhythm like I do. But when it comes to complicated grooves, it simply refuses to store it the way it was played originally. Right? Big pads only hint at 2 things: MPC style sampling, more on that later, and of course finger drumming that can create beats no machine is capable of. Yes, you can play funky 7/4 rhythm parts, but rest assured that it will not be saved in the way you played it. And number 1, sampling. It says proudly Electribe sampler, like it's real serious sample. It's not. Electribe 2 have the audacity to call itself a sampler. But 2 minutes of mono sample memory in stereo is gonna be like a minute. And you have to manually downgrade samples from the internet to 16 bits, 44 and 1 kilohertz on your computer. Not here, when the Korg's own microsampler was 24 bits, 48 kilohertz like 10 years ago. Then import every single sample manually using Windows 95 menu, twisting the knobs like crazy. And of course, no use bit transfer. Of course, dream another dream. This dream is over. Yeah? Van Halen, anybody. And after you forgot one option in here, in these deep menus, all of your hard work is gone. Yes, Electribe, this Salami Electribe, is perfectly capable of it. You did not heard me wrong. If you don't press export, even after successful import operation, and turn the power off, void. You are not mistaken. Yes, you have to export files, your samples, after just importing them. This is absolutely stupid, pointless, and infuriating. Sampling was added to Salami Electribe as a bonus option, and it works like a bonus option, not as a dedicated sampler device. If you make so much fuss out of sampling capabilities, Korg, please do it right. I bet Korg saw the opportunity to sell the same thing twice and just could not resist the temptation. Alright, the verdict. I'm gonna hold it like a boombox. And there's many things about it that are bad, wrong, or downright ugly. Let's just mention no arpeggiator, no MIDI export, not enough brightness to the pads, you cannot see it in a bright light. Too many functions that should have been on the front panel, not deep in the menus. No 5-pin MIDI, sequencing flows so bad that it deserves a special place. And hell, the thing is too heavy to carry around, etc, etc, etc. All of them can be fatal flaw for many of us. You know, you feel constrained every time you try to do something. Every single step is flawed in some way. I spent a year with that thing and I was so frustrated from first day of owning it to the last. Normally, you would think that after a year you would get used to everything. No, you will not. It feels like devices don't want to be used and doing everything to make your life miserable. You know, it's like you make your stepson to do his homework, and all you want to do is play some Fortnite, right? No wonder Korg never even teased the idea of Electribe 3. None. Zip, nada, zero, void, crickets. They knew they messed up. Overall, it's a very flawed device that cannot hold a candle to its predecessor, Korg EMX or ESX. EMX is still very special, an awesome sounding piece of gear, an instant classic. It had some limitations too, of course, but we hope that Korg will eliminate them while keeping EMX series alive. Instead, 10 years later, mind you, Korg added more limitation and wrapped EMX like an unwanted baby. Electribe 2 is not simply a poor gear. It's more of a reminder of a gloomy fate of EMX model. Every time you turn the Electribe 2 on, you can hear the burial march music in the background. In today's world, there's no hope for a good groove box, as Roland almost completely took over the market and ruined it with horrible MC707. Yes, I said that. But music industry is dying anyway. There will be no new groove box until music will restore itself somehow. Groove box, if it's going to be any good, will be a sign of comeback. We'll wait? How long? Only God knows. See you next time.